Welcome, time to newcomers alike to Tyranee's top 5 list of best and worst Pokemon cries. With Pokemon X and Y coming out, the cry system has been turned on its head, with a number of Pokemon receiving new updated cries and enhanced versions of their new Gen 1 to 5 ones. Pikachu, for example, has its name now, but then again, it does have mascot privileges. This is a list to celebrate the cry revival, with a list of my favorite and least favorite cries from Generation 1 to 5. Just for the record, I have a lot of Gen 4 and 5 on this list. I'm not biased to those generations, in fact I actually highly dislike Generation 4, but the Pokemon I picked for the list just happen to be within those generations. Now, without further delay, let's start with the best, because I know you guys want to see the worst, so I'm saving the worst for last. Starting with honorable mentions. Honorable mentions. For this honorable mention list, I have 2 choices. The first one being Porygon Z. Take a listen to this cry. There is something clearly wrong with this thing, which really fits what its gimmick is, which is to be the glitchy version of Porygon 2. Man, that cry, it sounds like a synthetic Pokemon, but with a screw loose or something like that. If you listen to this last part again, it just sounds like one of its bolts came loose and like fell down to from its head to its stomach or something like that, and it's like, ah, help me, I'm glitchy, ah. So that Porygon Z cry is perfect. Why didn't it make the list? Well, there was no reason, really, only because there was a few cries that I like better than it. That's pretty much it. Now on to my second honorable mention. Honorable mention number 2 is Chandelure from Generation 5. Listen to this cry. It sounds like ethereal glass, which once again is perfect for this Pokemon, as it is an ethereal Chandelure. It has a very creepy aspect to it, as it should, because it's a freaking ghost, with a gimmick that it basically takes people's souls, pretty much. This is one of my favorite Generation 5 Pokemon. It has a beautiful cry, a beautiful look to it. It's very useful in battle as a special sweeper. I find Chandelure to be freaking awesome, though. And now on to the actual list of best Pokemon cries. Number 5. This was a very unexpected turn of events, because who even remembers this Pokemon? It's a Gen 4 Pokemon that was just put in here, and God, nobody remembers it for anything. It was bland, it was useless, it's a freaking fish, we've seen all this before, pure water types that are fish. It and its pre-evolution are absolutely useless, but it has a beautiful cry. We're talking about Lumineon. It's a melodic, ethereal cry that just makes you think of a deep sea creature. It's quite fitting for Lumineon and quite easy on the ears, I must say. So for such a useless, bland Pokemon that nobody would ever use, this cry is absolutely beautiful. Props to whoever designed that one. Lumineon may be useless, but it has a cry worth remembering. Number 4. Magnezone. This is a Pokemon that was added in Generation 4 that was an evolution of course, the Generation 1 Pokemon, Magneton. Now, this thing's cry is very sci-fi, very fitting, and it sounds like a dubstep remix of some glitchy robot. Isn't that cry just great? It makes you think of a UFO, which is really what Magnezone is. I mean, it's an electric UFO. And it's a pleasure to listen to every time it comes into battle, because it screws with your head. It's like, woo, 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 woo. Ah, that was my bad impression of a Magnezone cry. Magnezone is one of the best Gen 1 third evolutions in my opinion. Electivire and Magmortar are also good, but I really like Magnezone, mostly because of its gimmick, and because it kicks butt, and it has an amazing cry. Number 3. Frostlass. We're continuing on with the Gen 4s. Yes, I know, 3 in a row. With this amazing ice ghost with an impeccably beautiful cry. I mean, listen to that cry and read its Pokédex entry. It freezes prey by blowing its negative 58-degree Fahrenheit breath, and then secretly display his prey. So if you get lost in a blizzard and you hear that cry, run for your life! God, that thing is gonna freeze you and turn you into a goddamn ice sculpture! Frostlass is one of the best Generation 4 Pokemon in my opinion. It may have a lot of weaknesses, but its typing is awesome with it being Ice Ghost. Its Cry is awesome. It has lots of speed, lots of special attack, and I have definitely enjoyed using it in any of my runs. So, once again, if you hear this cry, freaking run! Number 2. This is everyone's favorite cry from every Pokemon generation, Kricketune. While ultimately a fairly useless Pokemon, its cry has ripped open the heavens and brought about epicness in the form of an internet meme. Somewhat. I mean, really, listen to this cry. Isn't that the greatest cry you've ever heard? Can you imagine combining Kricketune with Arceus so that the cry of God was... The universe would explode! By God! What else is there to say about Kricketune? The cry fits him perfectly. He's a musical Pokemon. Sounds like it should belong to a bug. It's very out there. And it sounds ethereal. I just really love this cry. I know a lot of other people do too. Now, seems to be most everybody's favorite cry from the series. So the question is, what did I pick for my number 1 choice? Is it something that is not Gen 4? Actually, it is. Here's my number 1 choice. And my number 1 choice for my favorite cry from Generation 1 to 5 of the Pokemon series is... Meloetta. Meloetta is a legendary from Gen 5 you can only get via events. Yes, it's one of those, and I believe you can only get it via events anyways. I never tried. Its cry is music to my ears. Take a listen to this. Now, of course, music to my ears is sort of a pun in the case that Meloetta was based off a pop idol. I could listen to this cry all night and probably fall asleep to it. It's ethereal, it's beautiful, it fits its gimmick perfectly. It is the perfect cry, in my opinion. Meloetta's cry is fantastic. Before we move on to the worst, I just wanted to say it's really weird how my least favorite generation of all brought 4 out of the 5 cries to this best of list. And the worst of list is much more varied, to be honest. It has Pokemon from every generation in it. Prepare for the worst of video, coming soon!